vouchers. They're throwing all the Republican challengers out of this room.
Everybody's standing in this area. That's awful. When I answer any other question,
So I have the Baxter, Mr. Baxter, whatever, had to go to the head guy because I want to see every one of those ballots, copy them down, copy down the precinct because they don't show up on any list. So I just grabbed one box. It's 500 names of people that are not on the register, they're not on the supplement list.
Were you in there?
She was in here this morning. She said it's a
No, I've
shit
been
show.
in there all day. I just left.
And so why won't they let anybody into view?
Their
what's
capacity. They said there's capacity. In the morning, you could just walk right in. So I trained and walked
Because
right
of
in.
COVID, they're saying capacity
We
now?
all have masks on.
No,
We'll put our masks on.
I think it's the poll workers
They
don't,
don't wanna
like us
see
there,
you.
and they're very rude.
But
you
you're
know.
allowed legally to go. It doesn't say there's
Yeah,
capacity.
that's why we have the Supreme Court order. We went to-
Yeah,
And
well,
not to let
good
us in the
luck.
building?
Not to
It's
let you
so-
in the building. It's bizarre.
Because this building is not
So
a
they're
capacity.
letting- and you know,
Maybe
there's
the
those
roof
of us
is.
that leave. Like,
Stealing the election. The media's covering up. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The media's covering it up. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The media's covering up. We want our freedom for the world. Give us our freedom, Joe Biden. Joe Biden's covering up this election. He's stealing it.
Free in Pennsylvania. We're up by 400,000 votes with 86% of the precincts in. 86%. And we have Republican votes still coming in from Trump country. And the Democrats know that the only way that they could win this election is to cheat in Pennsylvania. And we've seen it from day one. We've seen it from day one. We found ballots in drainage ditches. They're not letting our poll watchers watch the polls. They're not letting them inside. There's video after video of them passing out collateral material in polling sites all over Philadelphia. They're trying to cheat. They're trying to cheat. They have 3x5 printed big posters in polling locations all over the city saying to vote for Biden and Harris, which is totally illegal. They're passing out flyers. The supervisors of elections, we have them on video, certain ones wearing literally Biden-Harris face masks in polling locations, which is totally illegal. And now they won't let, and we brought one great gentleman here with us today, Jeremy, who's a poll watcher down at the convention center. They won't even let him watch as they count the ballots. They put them behind a fence 40, 50 yards away where they actually can't see the counting happening. Guys, this is fraud. This is absolute fraud. We've seen it in Philadelphia before. They're trying to make a mockery of the election of this country. My father is up by almost 500,000 votes in this state with 86% reported and plenty of red counties left to go. Plenty of red counties left to go. We're going to win Pennsylvania, but they're trying to cheat us out of it because they know it's their only path to victory. They know it's the only path to victory. And so we came here today. We met with all our lawyers. We are going to file suit in Pennsylvania. It's a shame that we have to do that. It's the last thing that we wanted to do. It's the last thing my father wanted to do. But this is rampant corruption, and it can't happen. It simply can't happen. It's not fair. This isn't democracy. And with that, I want to pass it off to the great Rudy Giuliani, who's really leading the legal effort. And you'll be hearing from Rudy quite a bit. Please.
Thank you very much, Eric.
James O'Keefe here in downtown Minneapolis at the scene of the crime. The person you're about to meet, Liban Mohammed, aka King Liban 1, boasts about the hundreds of absentee ballots in his car.
Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Wajida gaarigaygu waa buuxaa. Waxaas waa absent ballot salka yaala. Soo ma jeedin. Fiiri, waxaas oo dhan soo ma jeedin. Waa buuxaa gaarigayga. Waa buuxa yaala. Waxaas kullu waa Jamaal Cusmaan way. Fiiri. 300 clear maanta soo dhacday oo Jamaal Cusmaan. Yeah.
There was video. You can see the video. There was a video out and about that he has the ballots in his car.
Right.
And talking about the only way you can win is with money. I was looking at them and they were not filled. They were blank.
Who is the one filling out the absentee ballots?
So
People who work with like Ilhan Omar.
Where do they pay the money?
The minute we sign the thing, the election, that's what you can pay.
Money is everything. Money is the key in this world. If you ain't got money, you should not be here, period.
Marka odayaasha waa loo codsadaa. Waa loo codsadaa, ha. Waana laga qaadaa. Waa laga qaadaa, ha.
At the end of this street,
Yes.
there's 3 towers called Horn Towers.
Okay.
And it's all seniors, and they took every ballot.
Every ballot. They just take
Every
them from
single
them.
ballot. They knock on the door and say, your ballots, come give it to me, give it to me.
They don't even pay them for it. They just take it.
No. And the ones that didn't vote on ballots, the young people and the women and stuff, they were paying cash. They were getting bags of money the last 1 week here to drive people. So there's a vested interest, but we are victims of the system. They don't give a shit about any Somali.
2 in the morning, still hustling.
Who is the one filling out the absentee ballots?
People who work with like Ilhan Omar and other candidates work for them. They came to us to our apartments. They tell us that this year you're gonna vote for Ilhan. You don't go nowhere, you stay home, we will tell you fill up so your absentee ballot. When it comes, we'll come and get it. You just don't go nowhere, you stay here. They fill up for us.
Looks like one of those lock boxes. I wish I could tell. Where'd this little guy come from so late at night? I think all the polling places were closed. And yet we have a box.
During lunch.
I got you.
So,
Okay.
we'll
All
see.
right. And what have you seen?
I've seen ballots that don't belong to anybody. They don't show up in the voter registration. There's no name attached to them.
And what are they doing with those ballots?
I'm challenging them, and
Okay.
they're supposed to put them in a box to be then re-evaluated. But then multiple ballots that have several different numbers.
Okay.
One person with different numbers. We have whole lists of them. We're writing everything down all day long.
So are they improperly filled out and you're looking to disqualify them?
Yes. If they're improperly filled out, if they have no name, if they don't have a home, or if the person was born in 1921 but registered to vote in 1900, that kind of doesn't make sense.
So, but that's not on the ballot. When you vote, your ballot is just the balls and what you have on there. What are you seeing? Are you seeing people's registration forms?
Yes, we are.
So on the tables, you have the ballot, and then you are able to see next to them
on a computer screen.
On a computer screen, whose ballot that is.
Sometimes the ballot itself has no name, but the ballot is filled out.
Okay.
And then if we go into the registration file, we find the person that has been was born in 1921, and it's just there's a lot that's not right.
What's wrong with being born in 1921?
But registering to vote in 1900, 21 years before you.
Explain one more time.
So the people that were in front of me, there were 2 people in front of me that used the Sharpie.
Yes.
That was given to them by the poll workers.
Yes.
It did not read their ballot.
Okay.
and they slid it in there twice. I used a pen.
Yep.
Took their Sharpie and threw it away.
And it read your ballot.
And it read my ballot.
And it read your ballot.
And it read my
So
ballot.
what they're doing is they're telling people to use the Sharpies. That way,
Yes.
those votes aren't counted.
Yes.
That's exactly what's happening. So there was other people that were in there voting with their pens, and they literally went around and they were yanking pens out of their hands.
Yes, they tried to do that to me, and I took their Sharpie and I hid it because then they said, look for all the Sharpies that are not being used and take the Sharpies back. They had a bowl of pens behind them that they were not giving to people and only giving Sharpies out.
There we go. So the ones with the Sharpies are not being read at all.
No.
No. None of those ballots are being read.
Of course not.
So that's and so they're doing it because they're trying to skew all of the votes in
Yeah,
there.
and they
That's
didn't,
exactly
and they
what's
didn't
going
try
on.
to even slide it more than one time. They immediately took it and slid it in the front, like not even tried a second time. They just
That's correct.
ran it through and slid it in the front, and I was like, wait a
That's what they
second.
did with yours?
Yep, and I just went with a Sharpie, voted Trump, and she just slid it in, and that was it. But
But they're not counting. They're not counting the ones with the Sharpies. And so they're forcing people to use the Sharpies, and those votes aren't being counted.
Right.
That's what's going on.
Right. And then I posted it on my Facebook group chat in my neighborhood. They said they did it at the Queen Creek Library. They did it at ASU Polytech earlier. That like 4 different polling places were doing Sharpies, all in like between Queen Creek and like the edge of Gilbert.
Yep. And those ones are not being counted.
Yeah.
They're invalid.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
like, I have proof.
So they're invalidating votes is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I just,
That's how
I
it
took a
feels like.
picture of my
Okay.
ballot for
And then
Trump.
there was a guy that directly came out and yelled at me 3 times. They both came out.
Oh no, they called the sheriffs
You guys
and said
should
that
stop.
and told us to stop handing out the ballpoint pens, in which case those are the only ones that are actually being
Yeah.
counted and validated.
I used your pen and then I
Yeah.
sent it back to you and I
And
said,
they're-
give this to somebody. 'cause this
Yes,
works."
yes. And so we know that, and we've been telling them you need to use a ballpoint pen, not the Sharpie, and now those are getting invalidated.
Yeah.
So people are coming here to vote for Donald Trump, and those votes are all getting invalidated. That's what's going on. There we go.